Raise your hand if you like simple. Well, today I have 15 3-ingredient recipes for you. If you're all about easy, keep watching. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kathy from fabulesslyfrugal.com, and here on YouTube, I share Instant Pot recipes and air fryer recipes, plus a few other mingled here and there. And today, a lot of these recipes are built for the Instant Pot or the air fryer. But if you don't have those, that's okay. They can easily be adapted for the stove, the grill, or your oven. I also have the recipes down below for you. I've got the ingredients and directions for each one, plus a link if you like to go print those out. You can do that as well. Each recipe has just 3 ingredients, so it's super easy to whip it together and save you time and a little money. I do need to say that I'm not counting salt, pepper, or water as an ingredient, because we all have salt, pepper, and water, right? Are you ready to see them? Let's go. This is how it's gonna roll. I've got 5 sets of savory, a side, and a sweet. Up first, Instant Pot ribs, air fryer corn, and the coolest way to make s'mores that doesn't require a campfire. That rhymes. Get a rack or 2 of ribs, about a 1/2 cup of your favorite barbecue seasoning, and a can of soda. I'm using root beer. Pat your ribs dry. If you need to tear off the membrane, do that too. And I'm using my gloves to protect my fingernails from the orange rub. Apply this liberally all over your ribs, massage it in. Don't forget to get the backside, get it in all those cracks and crevices. You don't even have to let this marinate if you don't want to. Next, grab your Instant Pot and the trivet that came with it. I couldn't find mine, so I'm using the egg holder. Then just place the ribs right inside. Want to do 2 racks? No problem. Just nestle the second one right inside of the first. Throw your can of soda in. If you're doing 2 racks of ribs, you will still just need 1 can of soda. Pop your lid on, hit manual or pressure cook, and set the timer to 25 minutes. Now while that's cooking, I usually discard my foil and get a new sheet of foil. And when they're done, you can go ahead and let it natural release for about 10 minutes. Take your lid off, and oh my goodness, these are so yummy. You can see they are falling apart. Now it was a little challenging getting these out with just one hand, so I got my camera assistant here, and these are beautiful. Now get your favorite barbecue sauce. I am using my homemade Copycat Sweet Baby Ray's. I've got a link for that down in the description below. And then I highly recommend giving them a broil for about 2 to 3 minutes in the oven. That's just gonna finish them off perfectly. And check it out, so good. And here's what's left from my boys. So good. All you need here is some corn and your favorite cooking oil. So after you have husked, soaked, and washed your corn, pat it dry, and then you are going to just rub some cooking oil on there. I've got my avocado oil in my handy dandy sprayer, and just massage that into your corn, and boom! 400, anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how you like your corn cooked. You will want to rotate those halfway through. And oh my goodness, they are so good. It's that simple. The kids loved this one. And these were gone fast. So good. Marshmallows, chocolate, graham crackers. You know it. It is air fryer s'mores right here. You know the drill. Place your crackers down and grab your marshmallows. I have a trick for you that you've got to do if you're doing these in the air fryer. You are going to snip the bottoms of the marshmallows off just enough to make those marshmallows sticky so they stick right onto the graham cracker. Now I threw toothpicks in here because I had an experiment. I wanted to see if toothpicks would help the marshmallows stay put on the graham crackers better, because in my other air fryer, they usually have a little hard time. Go ahead and set the temperature for 370, and you're gonna pop these in for 3 minutes. And here we go. Ooh la la. We didn't even need the toothpicks. Now grab your chocolate, place it on those marshmallows as much as you want, and then top those up, and you're gonna pop it in for 1 more minute just to help melt the rest of that chocolate. And these were beautiful and perfect. Just be careful when you take them out remember the basket is still hot. And there you go. You've got s'mores without the campfire stink. My teenager loved this one and approves. Fun, fast, air fryer treat. I've got more air fryer desserts linked in the description below if you are looking for sweet stuff in your air fryer. I got you covered. Set number 2 involves pork chops, apples, and something cold and chocolatey. Check it out. A pork loin, avocado oil, and ranch seasoning, y'all. Here's a money-saving tip. If you just buy a big pork loin, you can cut these up into pork chops however thick you want. Today I am going with about 1 inch. So just go ahead and cut how many you need. Now only 3 are gonna fit in my air fryer. Then once you've got those ready, pat them dry, and you're gonna add about a teaspoon of oil to each side. I'm using avocado oil because it has a nice high smoke point. And then get a half tablespoon of ranch seasoning mix, rub that on one side, flip them over, and do another half tablespoon on the other sides. That is it. It's so simple. Pop that in your air fryer. We are going to cook this up at 380 for 10 minutes, and we're going to flip it when they are halfway done. Now it's been a few minutes. I can already hear them sizzling. They're already starting to brown. Let's give it the other 5. Beautiful. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Now I've got my instant grate thermometer. Here they are. They're about 140. So you could stop now and just tent them in foil and let them rest. I decided to give it 1 more minute at 400 just so I could crisp up those pork chops. And they are done. I like to go ahead and put them in foil and just tent that foil up. Let them rest so all those juices can work their magic. And here we go. It's been about 5 minutes and they look and smell beautiful. Now if you want, you can also throw salt and pepper on with the ranch. You're gonna enjoy this simple dinner. If you're gonna throw it on the grill, cook it however you want. Just get it to the internal temperature of about 145. Yum, yum. Caramel, apples, and maybe some chocolate chips. That's right, it's mini caramel apples or caramel, whatever you call it. Check this out. Grab apples of your choice. We love the Granny Smith because the sour is so great with the sweet, right? Then you need a fruit baller, but don't worry if you don't have one. If you've got a nice round tablespoon, you can see I'm using a half tablespoon right here. It actually works fantastic. You do not need a melon baller. It's super easy. You just carve and dig in your apple. Depending on the size of your apple and how careful you are, you could get anywhere from 7 to 10 cute little mini balls out of each apple. Now, I'm actually only doing half the recipe because I don't need mini apples today. Now, there are a few tips and tricks I've got for you. When you're done with your apples, you want to blot them dry with a paper towel. It's going to just help the caramel stay on. Aren't these adorable? Then you're just gonna pop in the cute little candy sticks into each apple. Well, guess what happens? More juice will come out. So it might be a little tedious, but I did just go over them one more time with a paper towel. Then it's time for the caramel. Now, I love these caramel bits. It's an 11-ounce bag, and what you'll do is add a tablespoon of water. If you're gonna do the entire bag, do 2 tablespoons of water, and then melt it for 2 minutes in the microwave. You could also do it over the stove. Well, I was gonna check it halfway and stir it up, but I got sidetracked. So I probably overcooked it a little bit, but it turned out okay after I stirred it up. Then just dip your apples, and you can dip it in additional toppings. I have the mini chocolate chips here. You could dip it in cube sugar, chopped up pecans, chopped up Heath bars. The topping ideas are limitless. These are best enjoyed immediately just because the caramel does tend to slowly fall down. But they were so fun to make. The kids had a blast helping me out, and they are delicious. Enjoy this one. You just need some whipped topping, a can of sweetened condensed milk, and some 1% chocolate milk. Don't pay extra for the nicer, yummier chocolate milk. You actually don't want that creamy stuff. Now, this recipe is going to make about 4 quarts, which is 16 cups. So you can half that recipe. First thing you'll need is your blender. I've got the Vitamix blender, but you don't need a fancy one. Anyone that will hold 8 cups will work great here. Since this recipe makes so much, we have to do 2 batches. So the first set, you'll do just a half a can of sweetened condensed milk. Now you can eyeball it or measure it. I like to weigh it. Then add a half tub of whipped topping and 4 cups of chocolate milk. And then you're just gonna mix it up in your blender. Easy peasy. And we are gonna throw these in the freezer and see how they do. So every 30 to 45 minutes, you wanna pull it out and stir it up. Right there, it's like a yummy consistency, smooth, chocolatey, sweet, just right. Number 3, we've got something with chicken, peanut butter, and bananas. And those are 3 different recipes. Let's check it out. Let's go. Chicken, some Montreal steak seasoning, and some low sodium soy sauce. So we're making a delicious marinade. I like to grab a gallon-sized Ziploc, and you don't have to be exact on these measurements. I throw in anywhere from 1/2 to 1 cup of water and 3 to 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of the steak seasoning. Now, if you have the chicken seasoning, that'll work well. We just have a stink load of the steak seasoning. Go ahead and give that a nice mix, and you're gonna let that marinate for 3 hours, no more than 24 hours though. When your chicken's ready, bring out your Instant Pot and hit the saute button. Throw in a little bit of oil, and you're just gonna brown the chicken. We're not cooking it up. You just wanna lock in those juices. It's about a minute on each side until it's nice and toasty looking. Set the chicken aside and go ahead and grab your marinade, and you're gonna pour that back into the Instant Pot and then add maybe another 1/2 cup of water to your bag, shake it around, and get the rest of that in the Instant Pot. Then you want to grab your wooden spoon and then just scrape the little chicken bits off the bottom of your pressure cooker. That will ensure you don't get the burn notice. Then it's time to throw your trivet down and nestle in your chicken breasts right there. Go ahead and turn off saute, pop the lid on, make sure your lid is on sealing, or if you're like me, you've got a newer one, you don't have to do anything there. And you're gonna hit manual or pressure cook. We're gonna cook it on high pressure for 6 to 7 minutes. If you have larger chicken breasts, you wanna maybe go 7 to 8 minutes. I'm gonna go with 7 and then just let that cook. When it's done, you can let it slow release for 5 minutes and then let the rest of the steam out and take your chicken out. Now I got my instant rate thermometer and these are beyond done. I probably could have just done it for 6 minutes, maybe even 5. Remember, you can always set it in foil and let it rest, and usually it cooks a little bit more. But you know what? These were delicious. They were gobbled up. We also enjoyed them later in the day on some yummy sub rolls. You could top salad with it. So good, so easy. Y'all, it doesn't get easier than this. Oats, some honey, and some peanut butter. First things first, get a 9x9 pan and you're gonna line it with foil. Here's my little trick. I flip the pan upside down and wrap the foil around it and then turn it back right side up, and the foil fits in perfectly. Give it a spray with some cooking oil or coconut oil. I'm using avocado oil. Rub that around, and then you are going to melt your peanut butter and honey together. You're gonna need a cup of peanut butter. I'm using some creamy natural peanut butter. Now, I do not like to measure peanut butter and honey, so I weigh it instead. 1 cup of peanut butter is 264 grams, and a 1/2 cup of honey is 168 grams. You have to be pretty patient here. Go ahead and melt that in the microwave. Just took about 30 seconds to a minute for me. Once you have that blended in, go ahead and dump in 3 cups of oats. I'm using the rolled oats. You could go quick or blend up some rolled oats if you want, but I like the chewy texture of these rolled oats. And then just spread that in your 9x9 pan and pop it in the fridge for a couple hours, and then it will be ready to cut. Go ahead and cut it up in squares, and it does soften up if you leave it out at room temperature. So I like to get my little snapware. I load these up, keep it in the fridge, and it's a nice quick snack. 4 overripe bananas, 2 eggs, and a box of yellow cake mix. plus some muffin tins equals easy cake mix banana bread muffins. I love these silicone muffin tins, so handy. I've got a link to that down below. You do want to give these a little spray. It just helps those muffins pop out easier. I'm using my avocado oil in my spray bottle, and I'm going to just wipe that around with a paper towel. Next, just chop up those ripe bananas and then grab a fork, or you can use beaters to just mush those up. Now it depends on the size of your bananas, but you need about 1.5 cups of mashed banana. So looks like I need a little bit more than what I originally put in. That came to about 4 bananas. Mush, mush, mush. And then it is time to throw in 2 eggs and the box of yellow cake mix. Beaters are not even necessary. Just mix it on up till everything's incorporated and there's no more dry mix showing. And then grab your muffin tins. Now I love using my cookie scoop for filling these muffin tins. 1 cookie scoop is about 2 tablespoons, and I did fill all those, and then I did about another half scoop. So about 3 tablespoons in each muffin liner is what I did here. I just baked it according to the cupcake directions on that cake mix box, which was 350 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes. Now my oven cooks a little hot, so I just did 17 minutes. The muffins are perfect. My kids were dying, wondering when they could eat them. A fun, quick little snack that tastes pretty much like a treat, right? Set number 4. I've got salmon, I've got asparagus, and the most amazing fruit dip. Let's see it. Honey, Dijon mustard, and some salmon. So we're gonna spray the foil and the inside of the basket. I'm just gonna lightly season my salmon with salt and pepper. Next I've got my Dijon mustard and honey mixture. This is just 2 parts honey, 1 part Dijon. I did about 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of Dijon. And make sure it's mixed up good, and then just brush it on your salmon. And if you have the thicker fillets, you would want to brush the sides. I'm just gonna set those right there on top, and we'll just brush on a little bit more glaze. Now you could probably fit, depending on your basket, you might be able to fit 1 more in there. Otherwise, we've got this all set. So we're gonna bake this at 400. And this recipe says 10 to 14 minutes, but because these are so much thinner, I'm gonna start with 7 and take the temperature. So this one's been going for about 5 minutes. And according to this, it's done. But I do want to get some of that toastiness on there. So I'm gonna just give it another minute. And it is done right there. Start with a pound of asparagus. Make sure you wash it and then break off the ends. It's just as simple as holding the center of the spear and then breaking the bottom part off. You can throw away those bottom parts, and I just like to pat mine dry a little bit. Then you'll just add in about a teaspoon of avocado oil. You can use olive oil as well. And then really just a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper. Mix it around and throw it in your air fryer. I like to lay mine down in a single layer. Now, funny story here, I realized after I was done cooking that I only grabbed half of the asparagus. You will likely have more in your air fryer, and that's totally fine if it overlaps because you're gonna stir it up halfway through. Hit your air fryer to 400 degrees and you're gonna cook it 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how tender you like yours. When it's halfway through, get a wooden spoon and just move those little asparagus around. I tested mine out. It was still pretty firm at halfway through, but then just perfect for us after 8 minutes. And it is the perfect side dish. You can see we enjoyed it with our savory chicken. Love me some easy asparagus. A brick of cream cheese, 7 ounces of marshmallow cream, and then you've got choices, lemon yogurt or vanilla. You choose. Make sure your cream cheese is softened and throw in the marshmallow cream and blend those together till they're nice and smooth. And then I'm gonna add a couple scoops of lemon yogurt. You can do your vanilla now if you want. And for some extra pop, I'm adding some grated orange peel. Blend, blend, blend. Chill it in the fridge in an airtight container, and it will last up until a week. But actually it won't, because it will be devoured. It is that good, y'all. Hope you've been loving these so far. The last one involves bagels, hot chocolate, and carrots. Mini bagels, mozzarella cheese, and pizza sauce, and any other topping you choose. So we are just gonna slice 2 little bagels in half. Then we're gonna stick them in the air fryer and then place on your toppings. I've got lots of different topping ideas down below, like my favorite Alfredo sauce. 400, 4 minutes. All right, pizza bagels. Probably could have been gone for 3 minutes on these. Let's start off with carrots, and I'm just adding a tablespoon of avocado oil, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Mix it up and toss it in the air fryer. Go ahead and spread those out, and then you're gonna start at 5 minutes at 350, and then use your wooden spoon and stir them around, and then you'll give it another 10 to 15 minutes if you have regular carrots. So easy. Oh my word, so easy. Now these are super yummy when they're warm, dipped in ranch dressing. Believe it or not, my kids gobbled these up. Now you can go lighter on the Italian seasoning if the looks of this is gonna scare your little ones. You're still gonna get some great savory taste with these air fryer carrots. Hot chocolate mix, ice, chocolate milk, mingled with your blender. You ready for some frozen hot chocolate? Let's go. First pour 1.5 cups or 12 ounces of chocolate milk in your blender, and then you need a cup of dry hot chocolate mix. I just had a ton of these packets of Swiss Miss chocolate mix, and I found that just about 4.5 of them equaled 1 cup. Just topping it off right there. Boom. Throw that in your blender, and then you will top it off with 3 to 4 cups of ice. And then you just blend it until it's smooth. I ran it for a little bit longer because I just wanted to make sure that hot chocolate was dissolved nicely. But oh my goodness, this deliciousness could not get any easier. I had a whole lot of kids begging for me to wrap that up. And yes, this was approved by the children. And they were asking for more, but we ran out of ice. You are gonna love how easy this one is. So, what do you think? Fantastic? Hey, if you are into the air fryer, be sure to check out all of my air fryer recipes right here. Or if you're into the Instant Pot, I've got a whole playlist right here for you. If you found this helpful, hit the like, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.